All right, let's talk about one of the biggest shakeups the internet has ever seen. We're diving into the rise of AI search and what it actually means for anyone, and I mean anyone, who needs to be found online. Okay, let's get right into it. So, picture this. It's a hypothetical date for now, but it feels more real every single day. Imagine waking up on October 7th, 2025. There's no big explosion, just a software update. Google rolls out its AI overviews to literally a billion people. And just like that, the internet as we knew it, that list of 10 blue links, is gone. The game has completely changed. And the impact? Oh, it was immediate and it was massive. Look at this number. When an AI overview pops up, organic clicks, the lifeblood of so many websites, just plummet by an average of 61%. That's not a small dip, you know? For tons of businesses, that's an extinction level event. So, the big question is, what do you do now? The old playbook, SEO, it's just not going to cut it anymore. We have to adapt. And that means embracing a whole new strategy, a new way of thinking, Generative Engine Optimization. Let's call it GEO. So let's break down what that really means. You see, this slide gets to the absolute heart of it. For years, the whole game was about climbing that list of links. You wanted to be number one, right? Well, with GEO, the goal is totally different. You're not trying to be the destination anymore. You're trying to be the trusted source that the AI quotes in its answer. It's a huge shift from just ranking to actually being part of the reasoning. So, to put it simply, GOO is all about making your content so clear, so authoritative, so undeniably useful that an AI model looks at it and says, yep, that's the one. It has no choice but to grab your info, synthesize it, and slap your name on it as the source. You're aiming to be reference-worthy for a machine. Okay, so to really win this new game, you have to understand what these generative engines are actually looking for. The old signals, stuffing keywords and collecting backlinks, they're becoming less and less important. So let's look at the new rules of the road. So here they are, the 7 big ones. This is what it really boils down to. Now, some of these might look familiar, like EEAT, that's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. But others are new, like semantic completeness, which is basically how thoroughly you answer a question, and vector embedding alignment, which we'll get to in a sec. The key takeaway? It's not about the words you use. It's about the deep meaning and structure of your content. Now, if there's one thing you remember from this, let it be this number. This right here is the biggest new factor: multimodal content. AIs don't just read anymore, they see. And just by adding relevant images to your text, your chances of being chosen as a source shoot up by 156%. Writing text-only articles is now a huge disadvantage. And get this, it doesn't stop there. This isn't just adding things up, it's a multiplier effect. When you combine your text with images, and then add video, and then you use the right code to explain what it all is, boom, your selection rate just skyrockets by over 300%. It's because the AI gets more confident when it can check your facts across different formats. All right, this next one sounds a little techie, but stick with me because it's so important. It all comes down to meaning. An AI turns your content into a kind of mathematical fingerprint of what it means. We call that a vector. The closer your content's meaning fingerprint is to the user's question, the higher your chances of getting cited. We're talking up to 7.3 times higher. It's not about matching keywords, it's about matching intent. Okay, so we know what the AI wants, but how do we actually create content that lines up with all this? That brings us to the new content playbook, a way of writing that works for both smart machines and, actual humans. The secret is a classic structure journalists have used for ages, the inverted pyramid. You start every single piece of content, every section, with the direct answer. Put the most important stuff right at the top, where the AI is paying the most attention. Then you can follow up with all the context, the data, and the finer details. And here's a great little mental model you can use. I call it the island test. You have to remember, an AI might just grab one single paragraph from your entire page. So you gotta ask yourself, if that paragraph was all alone on an island, would it still make perfect sense? Does it have all the context it needs? If the answer is no, you've got some rewriting to. Now, I know what you might be thinking. All this talk about falling traffic sounds pretty grim, right? Well, here's where it gets really, really interesting. There's this silver lining that people are calling the quality paradox. Yes, you might get fewer clicks overall, but the people who do click are way, way more valuable. Think about it. The AI has already answered the person's basic question. So if they still click your link, it means they're not just browsing, they're pre-qualified. They want to go deeper. And the data backs this up. They bounce less, they stay on your site longer, and they are much more likely to actually buy something or sign up. We're basically trading volume for value. Okay, last but definitely not least, let's talk about the technical side of things. Because you can have the best content in the world, but if the AI can't easily crawl it and understand it, it's basically useless. So let's run through a quick technical checklist. The most critical technical piece for GEO is what's called structured data, or schema. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a cheat sheet that you give to the AI. Instead of making the machine guess what your page is about, you're telling it straight up, hey, this is a recipe, or this is a product, or this is a step-by-step guide. And look, you don't have to boil the ocean here. These are the schema types that matter most right now. Things like FAQ and how-to schema feed directly into those AI answer boxes. And critically, that image object and video object schema, that's how you get credit for all that amazing multimodal content we were just talking about. And of course, your site has to be fast and stable. These core web vitals are basically the price of admission now. A slow or clunky site signals low quality to the AI. So even if your content is brilliant, a bad technical experience means you're probably not going to get cited. It's as simple as that. So when you put it all together, this so-called search apocalypse isn't really an end. It's a transformation. The whole game has shifted from just chasing clicks and high traffic volume to delivering the absolute highest quality answer. It's about focusing on fewer visitors, but much, much better visitors. Which leaves all of us with one fundamental question we need to ask about everything we create. It's not enough anymore for your content to just be on the web. In this new age of AI, the only thing that really matters is this. Is it the answer?